Hey, what's going on, boys and girls? I just wanted to join you for a little thing I like to call a gentleman's chat. I wish I had a fireplace. I would just sit by the fire, with a little blanket over me, a cup of Joe. I don't like a cup of Joe, but I could bring my raspberry tea for a sit, and we'll chat, have a gentleman's chat. Now, you might be thinking, what does this even mean? Now, I will tell you it's a video game related thing. In case you didn't know, I have a Discord server that's from a video game community that I was a part of and have been a part of since 2009. 10 years now. Oh, Jesus. Coming in August, it'll be 10 years since I've joined this community. Used to be on a forum, and then we moved to a Discord. There's always a link in the description and on my website to the Discord if you want to join. It's open to anybody. It's mostly gaming, but we also have sections to talk about film, television, books, music, all those things. You can talk about anything, just in a general chat. There's anything you can talk about. If you want to join in, feel free. And something we have going on there is something called the Gentleman's Challenge we've been doing for years. Not my creation, but something I've kind of continued on through this Discord. And what is the Gentleman's Challenge? It's basically where you're assigned a partner, and you each have a list of games that you want to complete that are unfinished, and you assign each other a game, and you are challenged to finish it within a certain amount of time. And it happens to be 2 months is the general time length now. So at the end of March, I have until then to finish, for me, Kingdom Hearts. Now this is the HD 1.5 plus 2.5 remix. Gotta love that name. I'm actually borrowing this from my brother because, for the sake of this challenge, I have Kingdom Hearts over here on the PlayStation 2, but it's like, if I can borrow this and play it in HD, why not, okay? And so I'm playing the first Kingdom Hearts for the first time ever, and while everybody else is playing Kingdom Hearts 3, which just came out, and everybody's talking about it. So I want to do this, maybe I might be doing this weekly or whenever, I don't know, but I just want to talk about my progress on the challenge. And I was also assigned Mass Effect, so in the event I finish this and have enough time, I can also complete Mass Effect before the end of the challenge. That'll make me Supreme Gentleman. If I just beat this, I'll be a gentleman. That's how it goes. So our community is recently renamed to RNG, or Rascals and Gents, themed around this whole thing. If you don't finish your game, you are a rascal. Okay, so I'm going to talk about Kingdom Hearts. I will tell you, there's not like an easy definitive way to say how far I am, but because you can go in a couple of different orders of how things are going, and some things are optional and whatnot. I'm probably going to do all the worlds anyway, but I will say that I just finished Monstro, and I'm now in Atlantica. And I've done, I should have written down ahead of time what the other worlds are that I did. Okay, so I've also done Wonderland, I've done Deep Jungle, I've done Agrabah, and that's it so far. Still haven't done 100 Acre Wood, which is like, I know you can do it earlier than what I've done it, I believe. But, yeah, so I've got an idea of what the game is like, and I do have to say, I'm not entirely sold yet on what the whole, I just don't get it. I love Disney. I can't say I love Final Fantasy, I like it, but I haven't played too many of the games extensively, so it doesn't do much for me there. But I do love Disney, so being in the Disney worlds you'd think would do something for me, but playing it now without the nostalgia of 2007, whatever, when it came out, it's just not doing it for me. I just don't see why it has such a huge following. Feel free to let me know exactly why. And if it's like outside of nostalgia, what it is that makes it hold up to you. Because to me, it's like, it's a playable game, but it's not outstanding. It wouldn't be like top 10, top 20 games of all time for me. It's not like blowing me away. Just there's a lot of limitations that are sticking out to me. I don't like the combat system, and like the worlds just seem very empty. Like Agrabah was just a small little marketplace, basically. It was the entire world. So it's like while you are technically in Agrabah, it doesn't really feel. I don't get that Disney feeling, And some of the like dialogue interactions are like kind of cringy and stiff. I feel like they haven't really aged too well. Traverse Town is like feels too empty as well. Like a lot of these worlds feel either too small or too empty, or just like kind of thrown together in like a dungeon crawler scenario. Like Monstro is just kind of like you go through it, and I don't imagine Monstro is the highlight of the game for many people, but it's worth noting that one just felt like a kind of a dungeon crawler thing, and for me who doesn't like the combat really that much, because it feels very button mashy. I try to mix in strategy here and there. You can do rolls, different abilities, and use magic, but it's very hard to apply that practically. Most of the time, it just seems more logical to button mash. Hit with the Keyblade, just X button, and then heal yourself a lot. Maybe jump around a bit, but it's like just not my cup of tea, at least. And I'd love for me to be won over by this. I'd love for you to convince me otherwise. I'm also curious if Kingdom Hearts 2 makes any significant changes, if it's significantly better or not. I'm not trying to hate on the game by any means. I'm always trying to be honest. I try to do that, but and I went into it wanting to like it, so I don't think you can fault me for saying I'm not a huge fan of what it has to offer so far. Like, I get that conceptually the Disney and Final Fantasy crossover, it's like wild, it's out of this world, it's weird, and it was mind-blowing at the time, and it's just still a very strange concept for a video game, and people just love the craziness of it, and especially if you love the two series, it would be crazy to see them together. But in terms of actually a good game, I'm just not seeing it, and I don't think like having the Final Fantasy characters there really so far hasn't added anything to the experience. They've just kind of been there, and it's just like, oh, Final Fantasy characters, and it's like they're just kind of supporting characters there for Sora, and it's not like, it's just, it doesn't feel like it it doesn't make the game better narratively for me, and it doesn't make it like any more entertaining to play as a game. So I'm like, I don't know. It's a wild concept. I love weird things, of course. I always love weird things when developers or any other form of media does something just outside of the box and weird like this. I'm all for it, but it doesn't mean it's gonna immediately be good. You gotta be weird, but have it's like deliberate, meaningful weird is what I like. That being said, I don't think I'll have any problem getting through the game in time for the Genesis Challenge. It's like not that unbearable. There've been some annoying parts, but other than that, it's not unbearable to get through, of course. So I think I'm guessing I'm about halfway, but I don't know for sure. And I don't know for sure how many hours I put in, because it says 14, but I know I've left the system and the game running for a while sometimes, like a couple hours here and there. So I'm not sure exactly, but again, shouldn't have any problem finishing it. And then hopefully I'll have time to move on to Mass Effect and maybe include this in this series as well, talking about my progress. That's it. All right. Mr. Kingdom Hearts boy, who assigned this game to me, I hope you're not offended, because your name is Mr. Kingdom Hearts boy, and I just said that I'm not a huge fan of Kingdom Hearts, which you assigned me. Talk to me. What makes this game so good, and why is it I'm assuming your favorite game ever, because your name is Mr. Kingdom Hearts boy. I know other friends like Rusty, Ari Lewis, 2011. He also loves Kingdom Hearts. It's his favorite game of all time. I just can't get it. Games that are my favorite game of all time, or up there, top 5, are ones that still hold up for me to this day, without the nostalgia, I feel like. So I'm just trying to wrap my head around the fact of this being best game of all time. Worthy. Thank you.